here, focused on my own way, with never looking back to those who lived in fear. There was nothing I could do, there is nothing you said that could make me realize how much lucky I was. Just out of reach of the fire, was not aware of the burning. But when I start to see those eyes begging for help, begging for more, just need to open my eyes now to try to change up the sunshine, to be someone longer than I've been trying. If I breathe tonight, if I am sad tonight, I don't have the time to
For live racing presented by Short Track Super League. It's Monday Night Madness with our Big Block Modified Series, brought to you by Simply Whatnots. SimplyWhatnots.com is your destination for custom, handcrafted home decor. Looking for a unique gift for the home? Check out SimplyWhatnots.com. Now, let's join OSR Network at Eldora Speedway.
What so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free, in the home of the
Good evening, race fans. Welcome. We're live here tonight, Homestead, Miami, and well, it's kind of unique because we're here with the Ford Entertainment Group, Sim500 Xfinity Series. These guys are about to kick it off here at Homestead, and Homestead's kind of one of these unique tracks. We're used to seeing it at the end of the season, but last year they switched that around on us a little bit, as that car did, and they had Homestead as a second race here. And the one thing about Homestead, now it's going to be a little different. We're so used to watching Alex here with the cup cars and the trucks, and obviously we've talked a lot about the tech inside and out about what iRacing as opposed to new real racing that is in NASCAR. And we'll dive into that as the race goes on. But this track can get a little slick at times, a little hard to pass. Maybe the high lane will come in. We'll have to see, but nonetheless, I want to welcome old Alex up here in the booth with me. Welcome everybody out there tonight tuning in. We're live tonight here on OSR Network on YouTube and Facebook. And also check out Sim500 over on Facebook too. I mean, those guys here at Sim500 doing absolute fantastic things. Check them out, sim500.com. They show all the leagues that they have. And Alex, man, I tell you what, these guys have got, they race pretty much about every day of the week. And so they got something for about anybody.
Yeah, after piddling through here on the Discord for this league, I could scroll for days on the stuff they got
a lot of information
going on, and there is literally so much. So, and that's where I stumbled upon that kick-ass beef jerky one that we were talking about a couple weeks ago. Just took a quick peek in there. But like you said, we're at the Sim500 Ford Entertainment Group Xfinity Series here this Sunday evening at Miami. It's Homestead, Miami, whatever you want to call it. Everyone calls it Homestead.
Yeah, I call it Homestead.
This is a quick little mile and a half, if you ask me. I think it's one of the quicker ones. Definitely, especially after they redid the track with these higher degree banking turns, which will vary from 18 to 20 degrees as they go through. But you're looking at some pretty fast laps. As Flagman's throwing out his arm as we go green here.
Flag, and right now you're going to try to get everything you can because this usually becomes a single file track. You got 2x2 all the way out. Daniel Falkingham up front. There's a name very much familiar with. And we got Wrecking in the back already. Now, this is one of the tracks that they can go off the track surface, and iRacing will not throw a caution. But let's go back and see what happened. Unfortunately, Jose Gonzalez, call him Speedy Gonzalez. You'll get the names here. And, just got loose and, yeah, got into Mike Kelly. Those two cars came together. You could just see right there. What you'll learn here, Alex, is on iRacing, you can, at certain parts of the track, you'll be able to go off, certain tracks you can go off the racing surface, and iRacing won't throw a caution, so an eye on that. Kevin Brown, right there, check him out on Twitch at Kevin Brown. A lot of these names I am very familiar with here, so you're going to see throughout this race. I know a lot of these guys and their tendencies up front. Daniel Falkingham, very, very much a good one there, along with Josh Parker. So you got some two heavy hitter guys up front in the Sim500 leading it right here, along with Robert Gillenwater, Chad Coleman, David Comstock. I mean, I got to say, Alex, I know you're a little new to the league, man, but I'm going to tell you what. These guys in the Sim500, they've raced with each other for years now together. That's the one thing I love about this league. Is they race together. Their core group has stayed together. I mean, they get new guys time, et cetera, but their core group has been together. And I'm going to tell you, they race well. Now, obviously, they have arguments just like any other racers do out and about. I've heard them, after the races, what is wrong with you running over me? But there's a lot of respect, and there's a lot of fast. Right. Just to give you an idea, I don't know if you're familiar with iRating. Are you familiar with the iRating system there, Alex?
I can't say that I am.
Okay. Well, just real quick, don't want to delve too far into it, but the iRating system on iRacing basically it's supposed to measure the skill of a driver. Obviously, the higher I rating you have, the higher the splits and the more harder skill it is, and so forth. They also they have what they call is a safety rating too. And if anybody out there watching, you know what I'm talking about. They also have a safety rating too. So you've got to manage between your I rating and safety rating. I mean, you can't just go out there and be running everybody over and say, "Oh, I'm gonna win all the races," and my I rating go up because your safety rating is going to taint. But also you have what they call incident points. Every time you get into somebody, that could kill your I rating. There's so much. I mean, go on iRacing.com when you get a chance. Just kind of read through some of the things and maybe look it up on Google. But nonetheless, just to give you an idea of some of the field strength here in the Sim500. Right now, Daniel Falkenham has a 7,000 I rating. That's pro level. Okay? Not mistaken, he was a pro at one time. Now, the Sim500 does not allow pro drivers in here. So if you have a pro license, you can't race in the Sim500. But obviously, here's the flip side to that one there, Alex, is if you don't have the pro license, guess what? You can still be a pro and you can race here. But just to give you an idea, the guys behind him there, Josh Parker, 4,900, 4,800s, 5,000s. We've got a lot of 24s and 3s. So you've got a lot of high skilled drivers in this series. And right now, Josh Parker's eating up the back end of Daniel Falkenham. So hopefully that gives everybody out there and yourself there, Alex, just a little bit insight of what iRacing and what to look at as far as the skill that's out here on this track, or talent, that is.
Yeah, so I remember last week about how competitive this league is. Just after that first race, seeing how, I mean, that being the first race and seeing how those guys operate as individuals and as a group, and it was pretty neat to see. I can see it right here looking at this, with how these guys are, I think, a lot closer than most of the time would happen in these kind of races. Especially, you got the top 8 within 2 seconds of each other. I think that's pretty close. And I mean, it's not like they're getting huge leads or anything like that. So that just shows the level of competitiveness, like you said. And so, but I know a little bit about the incident rating because in the Great Lakes Cup series and the Truck series, I'll hop into the admin chat after to kind of see how they go about penalties, running through the race, all that jazz, all that neat stuff to see. And that's where I've learned a little bit about the incident rating. So that I'm a little bit familiar with. I know, like, each, depending on how detrimental or serious an offense, I guess you could call it, is, you get a certain score. So, but everyone shoots for that 0, if I remember correctly. So these guys got those high scores, like you're saying. They sound pretty good.
Well, they are, and a lot of these guys got a lot of talent. You can see right now, this track here tends to be more of a single file track. We came from Auto Club the other night, and we were talking about it. This track here, obviously, you've got to get what you can get early on. Again, one of these places is really hard on tires. You get very slick, very quick. The biggest difference is we're in an Xfinity car. Remember, we was talking about the packages of what the NASCAR has and what iRacing's brought over. Well, these cars, obviously, horsepower-wise, yes, they're still down, but they don't have that downforce package that the Cup Series right there already, and plus a few other things on the car. So a little bit different. You see Anthony Calatoni right there trying to work over Joey Katina. Joey Katina, the head man here at Sim500. Makes a lot of the things go around and around. He's got the Ford Entertainment FEG out there, and I'm tell you what, folks, if you're looking to have a PC built, if you're looking for, he mostly he mostly centers around sim racing style rigs, but he can build you pretty much anything. Jeff Ford over at Ford Entertainment Group, FEG. Check him out if you're looking for an awesome. He can get you sim equipment. He can get you anything built computer-wise. So if you're looking to get started up, definitely check him out. Proud sponsor here at Sim500. Joey Katina right there running in the 19th spot. He does plate track racing. Let's go a little further back here Steve Herring, boy, I tell you what, just got all the notable guys here at the Sim500. Don Runkle Jr. out there running at the Mission 22. Dennis Gale, I hope I said that right. Good battling throughout the field. Everybody kind of single file right now. And here's another one. Get the Kit Kat machine here. All right, good deal. Good 32. Yep, Kit Kat. All right, this name here, I'm gonna bring it up for you so you can see who I'm talking about. Here, Alex. Threw me off for the longest time. And I'll tell you a little background with this guy here, because his mom watches. I always say, "Hey, Mom," and I always went Shane Ewing because I ain't know no better. Well, Shane got up with me about 3 or 4 races in, and he said, "Hey, man," he said, "I want to help you out on something. My last name." He said, "Doesn't bother me, man, on it," but he said, "My mom watches." I said, "Okay." I said, "Great, awesome." And man, every time that you say my last name, she just goes, "You need to tell him what your right name is." It is actually Shane Ewing. I would have had no idea that it was called Ewing. And I said, "Oh, you're talking about like J.R. Ewing from Dallas back in the day, you know?" I said, "Yeah, so Shane Ewing out there in the Kit Kat machine. I know Mom's watching. Hello, Mom. How you doing out there? Hope you're enjoying the race." And Alex, it's just things like that you catch on with leagues as you do them, to more with drivers and so forth. And I you know me, I kind of enjoy it with the family members and all.
Yeah, always getting the family members and whoever else tunes in to these races. Always nice to interact with them. And I mean, we do it all the time at the Great Lakes Series, so I wouldn't expect anything less here. So Ewing, I got
Ewing. It actually, yeah, it threw me off, but Shane Ewing, and it kind of stuck because I knew battle going on back here. Seems like this guy's going to go double foul. Most of your battling's going on back here in the back here around 20th place spot. And what you're probably seeing now on the track here is guys that are better at the long run. We talked about that. Guys are better on the long run than they are on the shorter distance run. And now you're starting to see guys starting to pick them off as the run goes on. So, not bad of a race right here.
I mean, no, like you said, these battles going on in the back, always like seeing these battles going on. It's not always the battles for the lead that are the most exciting ones. I mean, you know that. I know that. More than likely, a lot of people who are watching and participating in this event know that. So, but there are some nice little things going on back here. And because like you said, it's gonna get single file. That's kind of expected here. And I mean, you got guys running all 3 grooves, I guess, if you want to do 3 grooves, low, middle, high. So you got a whole different batches of I don't know what to call them. Different preferences, we'll call it. I was gonna say a couple different batches of cookies, and I was like, that won't make sense. But we got a lot of different preferences by these guys where they're gonna run, and these, I mean, they don't give up from what I'm seeing. When someone passes them, it's not like they're giving up. They're still fighting for that spot. Is seeing this car in front of this number 12 car right here flickering in and out the last couple laps. So that goes to show me a little bit more of the level of competitiveness here in this league.
Absolutely, and I tell you what, right now everybody's just kind of being patient, seeing what they've got, seeing what they can get. Kind of single file back up front. It's all Daniel Falkenham right now, and you see Josh Parker got a lap car right there, messing with him just a little bit around him. Josh has actually lost a little ground to Daniel right now. You got David Comstock, another one there, Chad Coleman. So a good run up front so far. Yeah,
and I'm used to usually seeing one or two guys kind of running away at these kind of tracks, but I mean, 1 and 2 was it John Parker, right? So Parker in second place.
Josh Parker.
Hey, John. Josh, excuse me. He's doing a good job of keeping him right there in his grasp. And Gillenwater and Comstock, those guys are not too far behind. And so, but these guys have been doing, I like what I noticed about last week and this week so far, this week, I should say, is that these guys, they do a pretty good job of running everything very clean, and you get these nice long green flag stretches, which everyone loves to see, because then you get the whole can of worms with pit strategy, with who has a better long run car, short run cars, all that jazz. So that's the kind of stuff that we like to see, and it's pretty neat how well these guys are doing here this evening.
Absolutely. Right now, Daniel Falkenham running pretty good there. David Comstock hanging on to 4th place. Adam Patet, I hope I said that right there on the last name. If not, hey, let me know. Get out there with me. And yellow flag out. First night looks like Ralph Van Divorce is going to be involved with that one along Randy Yoakum. Let's go back and see the replay here and see if exactly maybe see. Oh, just a little contact between the two, and next thing you know, he goes around and about, loses his whole front end there. Him and the 8 just doing donuts down the. Unfortunate.
And of course, it's right after I said that. Maybe I have superpowers.
Well, we always chalk that up as a broadcaster's jinx. A lot of times we get out there and we start talking about a few of the great drivers out here, and next thing you know, they hit the wall or something happens nonetheless. But hey, was a good run, and went about 26 laps into it. First caution out here tonight. This place can get a little slick, so that's one thing you got to worry about. And it's kind of like that loose in, tight off style feeling, and definitely a race car driver does not want to see. Excuse me there, folks. But hey, appreciate everybody out there. Hit the likes, hit the shares, hit the follows. I know the league would definitely appreciate it. We appreciate it here at OSR Network. As always, we love the folks out there. And if you're looking to sponsor anything in the league-wise, check out Sim500. If you're looking to sponsor anything on a broadcast side-wise, check us out here on OSR Network, onlinesimracingnetwork.com. Your home for fun and exciting sim racing. Right now, pit stops. And Falkenham did not come into pits, but Josh Parker did. What do you think about this strategy here, Alex?
Well, I'm not, excuse me, I'm not fully in tuned yet with this league's.
They run 100% fuel.
100%?
They do. So tires will be probably the biggest. And I'll go ahead and tell you, usually that's how it works a lot in this. Fuel usually doesn't become a huge factor unless something drastic happens. But tires is usually where the biggest thing. And speaking of that, let me see if I can't find their tire limits while you're going over what you thought about the pit strategy.
So, seeing as we are coming in on a quarter of this race, just about lap 30 will be a quarter of this race being done. I can, because we had this happen in, I don't remember I think it was the Truck Series race for the Great Lakes last Tuesday. We had one of the members there, one of the drivers, I don't want to necessarily call it short pitting, but maybe he's just taking advantage of the opportunity because he's only right there in 15th. He didn't lose that many spots from what I'm looking at right now. So, and with that being said, and everyone wanted to get the jump that they can on the restart, who knows who he can pick off right away. So, especially being on those newer tires, and maybe it'll give him that stronger, longer run car, and then he'll get back up and then go back once everyone else is back going through, or he'll outshine a little bit and do it like a flip-flop kind of deal, you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
so,
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's a little too early to be talking about strategy because I heard it today on the race.
Now here's what we got to talk about now. Remember we was talking about before it was hard to pass here, and it was as long as everybody's on the same tires. But like Josh Parker, obviously, is going to be able to come through the field very well with those new tires being 20-some, almost 30 lap difference. It's going to flip around, obviously when he has to come in. I guess ultimately Josh would love to get up front early with those new tires, and then the next time around the cycle comes around. I'm going to say these guys with 100% fuel probably shouldn't have to pit until lap 50, 60, around that area. I could be off a little bit, but I'm gonna go out on a limb and guess about that would be the normal stretch that they would take it.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking the same-ish window. I was thinking somewhere around 50 to maybe 65 on the higher end, just a guess. But yeah, I know how I usually bring up the chess match.
Well, we only got 120 laps, so I mean, if they go 60, that's split it in half, and I'm with you. I think they might very well be able to go 60 laps or more.
I mean, and if they do that, then maybe it's a 2 pit stop race, or maybe it's a 1 pit stop race for some of these guys. Who knows?
Right, yeah.
We never know.
I never know. Green flag about to be in the air. Here we go. Flag man there. Oh, car spun the tires. That's another thing you got to be heavily careful on the starts here, especially when you don't have new tires. Spinning the tires, and we saw it right there. Looks like Adam was the one who that 57 machine spun him and went up top. But just to let you know, Josh Parker, first one on new tires. Actually, he only took 2 tires. Cedric, because his pit stop was only an 8-second pit stop. He either put fuel, might as well put 2 tires on because he was coming through the field. So I didn't go back and watch his pit stop, but thought he might put 4. Mike Matesi, Kevin Brown looks like the only ones with 4 tires, so they should really be able to come through the field. You see him right there, Kevin Brown, that 93, along with Mike Matesi. So they'll probably be coming through the field pretty good. Hey, there's 2 things here you got to think about, Alex. Coming through the field like this, you're fast, but you still got to be very patient. There's guys in front of you on older tires. You're going to run up on them. Here's where you got to be very, very situational aware as a driver, because you can get yourself in trouble real quick.
Yeah, and I think that comes with knowing how to cleanly race and how you were spitting out some of these super high ratings for some of these guys. And I think these guys have a solid grasp on it, just kind of basing it off of kind of what you were telling me, and from what I saw last week and what I've already seen so far this race this evening, they're competitive, but they're clean and have a lot of discipline about the way they race, and these guys do a great job. So I think it's awesome to see them working like that. So, but some things just happen. Sometimes
it does.
Things just happen.
Does. It's racing. You get out there, and a lot of times you can get caught up in somebody else's mess. I always say, marred back in traffic is kind of the danger zone of the sea. And you can see right now, Josh Parker's made his way back up to 14th spot. And he's kind of right there in the middle of the pack. And if he did take those 2 tires, he's looking pretty good so far as he's screaming around this track here. But out front, Daniel Falkenhand's the man, along with David Comstock right there holding it down. In second, you got Robert Gillenwater. 3 Chevys up front there, along with Tim Johnson with the two Toyotas right there. Shane Ewing looking good. Here comes the 45, Mike Matesi. And just like I said, the first guy on 4 tires, you can just see how much better 4 tires are. he rocket shipped past both of those guys. And while he was on his way by, he said, "Give me a break there, Shane," and did. He'll probably make short work here, Mike will, the top runners. Obviously, that's going to flip. The other guys get their tires, but just to kind of show you what new tires will do here. And I know it's early, way early to be even talking about points because, man, this season's a long season, and they do a chase and all that. But, obviously want to get up there, lead. I mean, winning the race is the ultimate prize, but maybe get up there and lead and get some good bonus points.
Yeah, personally, if it were me, I'd take any points I could get as, like you said, Mike Matesi is just steamrolling. That guy has a lot of speed on these new tires, and you are just seeing how they're working so well. He restarted back there.
Around about 20-some spot, I think it was, yeah.
And now here he is pulling into that second spot with the Falkingham right in his sights. He is too close for missiles, so he's switching to guns now, but he's making short work, like you said, and here he comes along the inside to go down the back stretch and try and secure that top spot.
In the lead here, lead change. Mike Maltesi takes it out front on the inside. Daniel Falkenham has really no choice but to kind of let him go. That's just new tires versus old tires, folks, there. So new leader out front, Mike Maltesi. Good battle here. Steve Ritter, another one coming up through with newer tires. And Kevin Brown's found his way through the pack. All these guys coming through the pack. And this is about the only time you're really going to see in this race some guys just kind of coming through the field. It's another one of these tracks where once you get marred back in traffic, very, very, very tough place to try to get up here. So, I got to feel lap 38 here. Pit stop should probably be in the next, I'm going to say 15. I'm going to say about the next 15 to 12 laps or so. They should be putting them in. Josh Parker still has not been able to get through the field. He's still marred back in 11th. He's picking them off one by one. So I don't think if he did take two tires, they're not working as well, obviously, as the 4-tire setup. Going back here in the back a little bit, because you got Ryan Howard, who is also running the Kit Kat machine. So we got two Kit Kat guys out here. He's got a good battle going on with Randy Oakham.
Yeah, I was going to go into Josh Parker's little two-tire stop, shindig, whatever we want to call it, because those guys that are up front now got 4 tires and just blew past guys. And Parker, with his 2-tire stop, is not making as swift of progression as those guys did, but he's coming up there slowly but surely. Now he's sitting in 11th, as we got a nice couple battles you're fanning through right here, and these guys are racing pretty hard, so that's pretty cool to see these guys running how they run. And who knows, maybe those guys just wanted to get up front, and then they're going to pit cycle with everybody else, and then we'll see how it goes, because I don't know what the realio dealio is with that, but maybe
track position, I guess, is the biggest thing.
Yeah, maybe.
That's the only thing I can think. I'm with you on that one is track position, and maybe they just felt like it worked out, and it has worked out for Mike Matesi and him now, and Kevin Brown, which they were up front there to begin with, but maybe just sometimes these guys just kind of test the waters just to things. Glenn Campbell there in the Trans Service machine. I always say Trans Service Cup because Trans Service does sponsor the Cup Series here at the Sim500. They have been a great title sponsor for that series for a very, very long time. And folks, love the Cup cars. I love it. I really, really miss calling the Cup cars here at the Sim500. If I ever get a chance to do it again, I definitely will jump on it because I enjoy the Cup cars a lot. I'm not saying I don't enjoy the Xfinity cars, but those Cup cars are just something else. Right now, though, Glenn Campbell looking good. Right behind him, we got these little mini battles going on the track here, Alex, and kind of like where Auto Club was. This place being hard to pass is what you're going to see as run goes on. Tire wear kind of falls off. Guys, better on the long run. Guys better on the shorter run. So you'll see a few little, mishaps in there. And Joseph Burgess says, "Hate I'm not running tonight." Where were you at there, Joseph? What happened to you? Did you get caught up in a wreck? Had to work? Hey, I understand. Things in life come up. You know, we definitely get it. That's I don't know the word I'm looking for, but that tops anything that the virtual world would have to offer.
Surpasses?
There you go. That's a good word. Yeah, there you go. Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, this track kind of reminds me of because there's so many different variations of 1.5-mile tracks on the circuit, or whatever you want to call it. Yeah, call it the circuit, whatever. But, I mean, this track wasn't like how it is now. I mean, it was renovated to make the turns higher banking. So, but I'm trying to find out when that was, but I keep scrolling up and down past it, so I'm not going to keep looking for just this second. But it kind of reminds me of a 1.5-mile version of Auto Club, because it's playing out the same way as how it did the other night.
Well, in real life, that's usually how it works. Also here, this track kind of tends to single file, kind of high line, but here on iRacing, it's kind of went to a middle line. Used to did run way up near the wall there at one time.
So looking at this 8 car, it has risen my right eyebrow, and only my right eyebrow.
Okay.
Because looking at it, looks like it has a shorter, like, rear end of the car.
Well, this first part of it says engine free. Looks like he might have got caught up in the wreck earlier on. Let's see if we can. Yeah, he's missing the back end, so I think he was the one that got caught in the wreck earlier. They don't have any fast fixes here. So get damaged, you're pretty much, that's it on your car. You can maybe get some optional repairs. Thing like that fall off of it. Looks like he's lost the back end of it. That's what you're seeing right there. The bumper part's gone, but he's still able to go. Looks like the wing is still straight. That's probably what's helping that car turn. Or maybe the front end's not helping him a lot to get out in the air, but at least he's able to still rotate and turn the car, because the deck lid is still kind of good on it.
Yeah, I was looking at it for the last lap or so, before I brought it up, and I was like, what on earth am I looking at? And because I was like, is there just nothing on that back bumper? Or I was like, did it get pushed in? Did it fall off? What am I looking at? So I had to ask.
Yeah, he got caught in the wreck early on in the run. Unfortunate for him there. Randy Yoakum out there trying to do a good battle here. Don Runkle Jr. bouncing back. Now, he took 4 tires on that last pit stop and has been able to rumble through the front. He was way marked back in the back there in that 00. Good there. He should be part of Steel Horse Racing. Don Runkle Jr. there. Xfinity FEG Ford Entertainment Group. Don Runkle, I think he's still part of Steel Horse.
He is. I'm looking at it right now through the team chat channels. I see him in Steel Horse Racing, so you are correct on that one.
Yeah. Yep, there he is. Now, I gotta give old Don a good shout out. He was up in the booth with me for a while here on the 500 also. The pivot, good run by him. Jumped up 13th. Unfortunate, Jose out of the race early on. Looks like Joey Catina's retiring out too. Mike Kelly, Ralph Vandervorst still out there. Joey Catina's not out now. Get several. Chris Jaboo There's another one that's really good. Unfortunately, just way back in 26th spot right now.
Chris Jabu.
Jabu. Yep. That was another name that I struggled with for a while, and they helped me out on. Chris Jabu. Yeah, it pronounced more like with a J than it is with a G. I was always going like Chris Jabu, Gabai, Gabu, Gabui. I wasn't real sure, but it's Chris Jabu.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right there on the scoreboard. And I think if you hadn't have said something, I would have been like Gabo.
Yeah. I've done the same thing.
But Jabu. Okay, we're learning some of them. You got Ewing
That's
and
right.
Jabu.
Ewing and Jabu. That's two of the ones that I really struggled with there for a little while. Most of the guys have got kind of down pat there, and but right now it's all Mike Motesi out front. This is what I think his plan was, to get out front, because if we have green flag pit stops, here's the thing. With him having this kind of lead, especially over Daniel Falkenham, who is the first car that is not pitted, got almost a 10-second lead, and he's extending it every lap on Daniel. So the more laps he goes, and he could pretty much go a lap after Daniel does, pit-wise, or a couple laps after Daniel does, so that way he definitely has newer tires at the end of the run. And there's the strategy I think we're looking for. I think we pretty much just answered our own question. If this thing goes green, and it has kind of the feel that it could, you just never know though. If it goes green, Daniel Falkenham's going to probably pit. Let's say that we're at lap 55. I'm going to take a gander around lap 60, 65 in that area. If Daniel, let's say, pits in that area, let's say 65, he's going to have 55 laps to go. Oh, that's not what Mike wanted. A lap car get up there, and that's the worst thing you can have as a leader, is get up there and poke the back end of a lap machine. So definitely don't want to do that, because you get damage on these cars, and that definitely hinder him. But Daniel Falkenham, if he pits a lap 65, puts 55 laps. Obviously, Mike Motesi, by pitting at lap 26, he could push this thing to probably laps 75, 80 or so. I wouldn't want to push it that far, because you already see what new tires as far as time on the track does. But what I would probably do is stay out maybe a couple laps more. And in that way, by the end of the run, if it goes green the entire way, you've got at least maybe 3 to 5 lap newer tires. Plus, we talked about green flag pit stops. The one thing that they do is obviously they spread the field out even more. So with that 10-second lead, it could double, or at least get added onto. So right now it's 10 seconds. It might, by the time they come out with the pit stop, it could be 12 or 13 there, Alex. So, I mean, good strategy by Mike right now. As long as he don't get in trouble like he just did a minute ago. He got a little damage on the nose of that thing, though.
Yeah, I kind of think that's what... But pretty much what you said is kind of what I think I would try and do. Maybe just run a couple laps longer than some of these guys. There's a cautions out, so let's just throw everything I'm about to say gone.
Well, yes and no. Because, maybe Dennis was off track. If I can watch on Dennis' part here and see. Off track.
We're not doing the road course today.
No, not today, but well, that would have thrown caution. Back on track, then went back off track again. Let's keep watching. Replay right here. Back on the track. I got speed mirror. Watch his tires, a little dirty, cold. Heck, I don't think that first part would have threw the caution. Watching, because it did say he went back off the track again. If anybody in the league lets me know.
I am very confusion.
Oh, well, I mean, sometimes trying to find these things. Not sure. Somebody out there in the league, chime us in on what happened. On who brought the caution out, or what happened on that one.
Yeah, I'm not too sure either. Like I said, I'm very confusion.
Well, either way, under caution here. Now, what this will do is basically all the pit strategy stuff now, because you can pretty much make it the entire way from this point. But I really, really feel that this hurts Mike Motesi in his strategy, because he's on pit road now. This almost handed it. Well, I'm not. Let me say it rewrite it. Said it. Wait. I don't want to say it handed it, but really, really benefits Daniel, Kevin, and them guys who were actually Daniel for the most part, who was way off the pace. Now, with that said, Mike Motesi obviously on pit road, or road to put. He got some optional repairs done. Took a long time on pit road, but he also went and got 4 tires. Puts him way back in the back here. Those new, going to be on the same set of tires, so won't have really much of an advantage coming through the field. Mike won't. Kevin Brown still is up front here. Had an exceptional pit stop. He had an 11-second pit stop. Him and Steve Ritter. Wow, if they got 4 tires, that's the fastest pit stop I've seen on iRacing for 4 tires. Got any racers out there watching on iRacing? Have y'all seen any quicker times than that? Because that's close to a 2-tire stop, really. But then again, it could be with 11:57. Blazing quick. That's the fastest I've seen if it was 4 tires and off on the pace car. Kevin Brown's pit stop. Kind of curious now.
It sounds super quick to me.
Yeah. Can't go back here. I know we're about to go green here, folks, but really curious now of whether or not Kevin Brown took tires. There's his pit stop, or 4 pit stops. No tires. Wow. Okay.
That'll do it.
That'll do it. He put fuel only and put no tires. And we're back green, and they're 3 wide up front. Josh Parker, Daniel Falkenham, Robert Gillenwater. No, those guys, some of them took some tires right there. Josh Parker been able to fire it back up front. Gillenwater right there along with him. Falkenham side by side. They're door to door going into the turn.
Yeah, Josh has found his way back to the front. And, he's got Falkingham right behind him. So, Gillenwater's right there, too. These guys are just on another level right now. They just are leaving those guys in their dust. But
3 cars up front battle. Behind them, you got Tim, Adam, and company. And you can just see Kevin Brown's kind of just dropping like a rock in water with those old tires. I would have thought if you're going to be on at least 11 seconds, just put 2 tires on at least. I mean, if you're going to go that route, you might as well, because you were only, most of these guys had 14, 15-second pit stops. Got a different strategy you know of, but either way, right now, it's just not going to pay dividends. Fall off. He's going to need another caution, but some good racing. Here's the top 3 guys with their nose to tail.
Yeah, these guys are super close. This is a super neat stuff that you like to see, is a super tight battle for that first place position. As
Daniel, I'm going back here. No caution, but Daniel Dow said he crashed and then having a little bit of trouble, and he's going to opt to just stop and get off the track. So maybe just something mechanical went wrong on him, but. Yeah, back to the lead up here up front with these guys. Josh Parker out front. Daniel Falkenham's there with him. Robert Gillenwater, Tim Johnson back behind him. David Comstock, Adam right there along with it. Eric Arnold moving up pretty good. And Scott Simley. I always call him Scott Smiley. Man's smiling right now because he's in 8th spot. I love it. Haven't said that name in a long time, but he's looking good out there running so far, old Scott is. Chad Colvin hanging in 9th. Richard Beasley right there. He loves the Tide ride and looking clean up in 10th place spot.
that Tide machine looks very nice. Always a fan of seeing that.
Kit Kat cars right there. Ryan Howard, Shane Ewing. One's in a Ford, one's in a Toyota, and you got Halveland. So I don't know how well motor oil goes with Candy, but I guess unless you're working on something. But right now, those 2 cars, nose to tail, rumbling down the back stretch. I'm going to see if they can't run down old Richard Beasley up there for the 10th place spot. You got Shane Ewing right there following in the tire tracks of Ryan Howard. Right behind him, Doey Woods. And Doey, he definitely is. Now, if I'm not mistaken, Doey loves a lot of the throwback paint jobs. I always call him, I think it's Doey. I might be off. Run the 40. I have to figure it out. Doey's been one of those long-time veterans here in the series of the Sim500.
Well, I will give you a little bit of insight on how well any kind of fuel really goes with any food, with my personal experience of taking 2 swigs of kerosene once. Not going to dive too deep into it, but it was not fun. Complete accident and ruined my taste buds for like 2 days. So I just burned them off. So I don't think Kit Kat and any type of oil or fuel goes that well together. So
Absolutely not.
That's that.
Definitely don't want anybody out there trying that. So there you go. So not going to advocate for that. John Wilco hanging on to the 15th place spot, looking good so far. He's running the tire tracks at Anthony Calatoni right there. You got Jimmy Coleman behind him, along with Glenn Campbell, Milt Matisse, Kevin Brown, who we talked about, did not take tires when he has fallen all the way back to 19th. In his spot right now. Steve Ritter, Don Runkle Jr., Randy Yoakum, and Christian Boo all make up about the 24th spot. Oh, this man right now, though, Josh Parker, he's walking away from the front.
Yeah, I mean, just looking at this top 10, so right there, back to that Tide machine right there. I think, right, Beasley's in the Tide machine? This top 10 is super, right?
Yeah, Richard Beasley.
Okay. Yeah, just looking at it right there, this top 10 is not that spread out. They are a total of less than 3 seconds apart from each other looking at it right now.
That's it right there. About a straightaway difference between the whole field, man. Good run right there between them. You see Eric Arnold, though, battling him up for the 10th place spot. And Richard actually for the 9th and 10th place spot. That's going to bring Ryan and Shane Ewing up there eventually if those 2 guys keep battling.
Yeah, and I mean, this comes with, these kind of battles come with just obviously just racing, but usually when you're battling out, it slows your times a little bit, which is understandable, obviously, and that's why it's bringing in those other two right there, and 11th and 12th right on their back bumpers pretty much, or pretty close to it. So this top 12 is pretty close, if you ask me, as Josh Parker's getting a nicer little gap in front of Foggingham right there, but it's not huge, but it's a nice little gap he's got going on now. He's got maybe about, I don't know, 6, 7, 8 car lengths or so right now, just looking at it.
9/10 right there, almost a second, separating the top two. Josh Parker, Daniel Falkenham. For Robert Gillenwater riding right into tire tracks there. Daniel, you got David Comstock hanging on to the back bumper a little bit there along with him. Timothy Johnson still at him there. So the top 6 guys pretty good, along with Scott Simley. And here comes Chad Coleman. Chad's doing an outstanding job, Richard. So said it, the top 12, except for Josh, you know, all kind of right there grouped up. One of these guys make a mistake, any one of them can make the pass.
All right, here I go. I found out when the track was reconfigured a little bit, so I can get back to that little
Go ahead.
thing. 2003, the track was reconfigured once again. The turns were changed from mostly flat to steep variable banking. Like I said earlier, it varies from 18 to 20% grade in the turns, progressively changing throughout. And then in 2005, they added lights. So those lights brought up one of the closer finishes here with the battle between Greg Biffle and Mark Martin in that race. I remember watching that. I've seen a couple videos about it. So there's little shindigs about the track a little bit, but we don't need lights because it's daytime in this simulation we got going on for this race. So these guys are seeing it clear as day. So
Absolutely.
yeah, little tidbits about the track. No, there ain't. I mean, just little fun facts, fast laps, race record times, all that jazz. You know, so
And it's a very good track, like you just pointed out there. Good battle about to happen here. Ryan Howard's moving in. Arnold, that's for the 9th and 10th place spot. You got Shane Ewing and Richard Beasley right there, trying to see if they can't sneak up in the top 10. So good. Tight battle about to happen right there amongst those drivers. So Josh Parker out front now. Talked about pit strategies pretty much. This thing goes green all the way. Not going to stop pit like that. You're just going to keep going. Pretty much got what you've got now, unless a caution flies late.
yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking. Coming in with 40 laps to go now, as this guy's diving up and down, using the whole racetrack. But yeah, I think I would only come down, if at all, if the guys up front are coming down. I don't even know if I would if they come down. Because if you can get a lap and a half, 2 laps ahead while they're on pit road, with 40 laps, less than that now to go, I don't think there's real coming back from that unless there's a caution. So, but as we know, it's always a game of, what if this happens? Well, what if this happens? Or what if it doesn't happen? Or what if that doesn't happen? All that hubba-bab that can happen. So, but I'm with you there. I don't think if it runs green the rest of the way, I don't think he'd be coming down.
No. I mean, because we've seen how far they can go fuel-wise. We saw that with Daniel Falkenham and them. They went definitely 60 laps or more out front here. And right now, Daniel is sitting in the second place spot. He's got Robert Gillenwater hanging on to second. David Comstock here. Tim Johnson hanging on the 5th place along with him. Oh, Josh Parker, man, just running off in the sunset with this one.
He is making a good comeback for that Interstate 18 machine after the start of today's race at the Daytona Road Course for NASCAR. Kyle Busch ran into some issues early, very
I don't
early.
really care about that.
But nice little comeback. He's doing pretty good. I mean, like you said, he's running away with it a little bit. He's already closing in on 2 seconds.
Everybody probably cheered when he hit the wall.
Yeah, we won't go into favorites here. I don't want to make this a political sham.
Pulled it off. I'll give him credit there. So if you watched the real race today, there you go. We had a new winner. That's awesome on him. Congratulations there. And hopefully tonight we'll see who puts it in victory lane. As right now it's all Josh Parker. Man, right now it's out front. Daniel Falkenham's trying to figure out a way to maybe run him down. But then again, this could be by strategy. Remember, you've got to be there at the end. Maybe he's just kind of saving and riding right now. Daniel is, and letting Josh kind of get out there the big lead. Robert's just kind of right there in cruise control himself, running behind Daniel.
Yeah, I mean, you're way more into, I'll say, in tune with strategies and whatnot. I can throw out my guesstimates, but being as obviously I have no behind the wheel time at all in iRacing, so, but I can always go with, hey, what if he's doing this or whatever? So maybe he's just chilling right now, as he's just kind of locked on pretty much to his rear bumper, pretty close. So he's just kind of sitting pretty where he is, kind of just running smooth, making sure he's on top of his game this evening. And he's doing a good job. He's sitting there third spot right now in that pretty looking Ford machine. Definitely good looking. Got a couple good looking cars out here this evening.
Definitely got a lot of them right there, and you can see that JDR graphics machine there. Robert Gillenwater looking very well. David Comstock hanging on there in the fourth place spot. He's got Timothy Johnson, and a lot of strategy-wise here I look at. You watch a real NASCAR, so you can kind of put 2 and 2 together when they say they run 100% fuel, and look at the time of what they're going to do, and then just of course of how many broadcasts I've done and seen these guys run and different fuel levels of what they, tracks, go on. You kind of get an idea of what they're looking like. I mean, I've been fooled a lot of times on what these guys can and can't do, or what they will do and what they won't do on the track. So we'll have to see what works and what doesn't. Right now, though, what's working is Josh Parker walking away by about 3 seconds out front. Now, at some point, I got a feeling on Josh's part there, Alex, he's probably going to build up a big lead. If it doesn't go green, why not save just a little bit? Got a big lead, I can give up a little bit of time as a leader.
Yeah, I kind of like that idea. I mean, he's over 2 seconds now. And if you ease up maybe a tenth, 2 tenths a lap, that's still 10 to 20 something laps for them to catch up before you can just be like, oh, hey, I was put the hammer back down, If
Absolutely. Yeah.
If that happens with this race going green, because who knows, maybe him running as hard as he is, because you said you usually don't get a fuel issue, right?
Normally you don't. I mean, I'm not going to say that you won't run into it. I mean, with the amount of laps that these guys run, and 100% fuel, I mean, you can do the math. Definitely, see how far these guys can run. So fuel usually does not become a concern. I have seen, though, it be close in a couple races. It all depends on how the cautions fall and when you want. A lot of times it's tire tire wear or the tires, the limit that they give them. And that is one thing that has really shooken it up here in this league. The biggest thing back in now, and I know I've mentioned the name Justin Fuller out here tonight, out here last week. But Justin Fuller, who was one of the fastest guys, but he's wide open a lot. Well, being so, when iRacing implemented tire limits, in real life, they have tire limits. They have quite a few of them, but a team could run out of tires. It has happened in a race before, and they had to go buying tires up and down pit road from guys who wrecked out and whatnot. But anyways, tire limits. When they implemented that in iRacing, it changed the whole landscape of how leagues and drivers competed. Because a lot of times I like what they do here. Mentioned this a couple times. And so say in 120 lap, now I'm not 100% sure what the limit here is tonight. I'm going to say 3, but I could be wrong. But I'm going to say 3 on top of the one they had. That's still pretty good, because if it goes long green flag run, obviously tires won't become a limit. Trevor, looking for any more drivers? Oh yeah, what's up, Joey? Yeah, Joey can answer that. Yeah, there you go. Appreciate that, Joey. But back to what I was saying as far as the limit on tire. Joey, since you're listening, tell me what the tire limit is here tonight, matter of fact. Got there following along. I haven't gotten to a lot of that info. I know y'all run a lot of the 100% fuel, and I probably could go on the website and find out. But back to what I was saying here real quick. What that did was really shook up a lot of these drivers, because normally what would happen, Alex, is a caution come out, you'd instantly, everybody come down pit road, put new tires on. And you'd just do that every caution. Why not? Because you got new tires. New tires made you feel like Superman, and you feel fast. And the fast guys, it benefited a lot. Well, with the tire limit, though, you can't just go running down on pit road every time you get tires. The tires, 3 sets. Okay. 2 in the pits. Okay, so it's 3 sets. That includes the set that they've got on. Because sometimes 3 sets and plus the set they start with. So initially they'd have 4 sets of tires. But if what he's saying is true, then 2 sets. Then basically, let's go back to what Josh Parker did earlier. And here's your chess match here, Alex. Josh Parker pitted earlier. Used a set of tires, remember? Actually,
yes, sir.
No, he did not use it. Actually, we'd have to go to Kevin Brown. My bad. Who used a set of tires earlier on. He used a set, came through the field, and Mike Matesi also, Mike Matesi earlier on in the race used a set, and unfortunately he's way back in 26th spot. That damage caught him up a little bit. But remember, he used a set, got up front. Now his second pit stop, if from what Joey, if I'm thinking, my thinking's right here, and what Joey's saying, went in and got another set at the lap 60 mark. He's out of tires. If there's another caution to fly here between now and the end of the race, if you've got another set of tires, now's when you come in and put them on. You would put them on during that caution. If you don't, well, guess what? There's where your chess match and your strategy comes in. And that has really thrown a wrench in a lot of these guys' plans that like to just come out here and run wide open. I like the strategy involved with it. I love it. And so maybe that explains a lot of it out there to y'all folks. And it makes it more realistic too.
I can definitely see how that throws, like you said, some curveballs, wrenches into some plans, especially if you're already on your 3rd set. So, it's always a neat concept to hear how you always go in depth about the updates and whatnot, and how iRacing works to make it as realistic as possible, because I think the realism factor in it is what makes it enjoyable. And coming up with different strategies, and hey, this situation, I'm doing this. But wait, I have to save some tires or something because I only got a couple of them. So I think that realism factor, I like it. I definitely do like it. And seeing how it goes and plays its role in these races, not just in this league, but also the Great Lakes. Seeing how sometimes there's some strategy changes throughout a race depending on how someone conducts their pit stops or strategies and whatnot throughout that race. So that's always neat to see as we are now 28 laps to go here.
A good battle right here around about the 10th place spot. You got Chad Coleman, Shane Ewing battling along there with Joey Woods and company. Those guys are they're modulating through a lot of lap traffic right now. This is where you got to be very careful as a driver. You don't want to get yourself in trouble. I know you're trying to race for position and whatnot, but you still got to be very, very mindful as Josh Parker right now on cruise control out sailing. He's got about a 2.6 second lead over Daniel Falkenham, Robert Gillenwater there, and Timothy Johnson there, David Comstock holding up the 5th place spot. So your biggest battle right now is happening around here. About the 11th, the 10th, and 9th place there. Eric Arnold, Joey Wood, Shane Ewing, Chad Coleman. They've been kind of mixing it up the last several laps.
Yeah, I see that happening right there on the scoreboard, and now we're looking at them. It's, like I said, it's not always the battle for the lead that's the most exciting battle, because sometimes there isn't really a battle for the lead. And but it's always nice seeing people battling it out for positions, because everybody wants that next spot, but them doing what they can to make up any position like how they have been doing is always nice to see. And again, I'm gonna go into how these guys, from what I've seen last week and throughout the race tonight, is these guys race pretty very clean. And I think that comes down to, like you said, most of them are pretty much repeat offenders is what I like to say. But the group's been together for a while. And that goes to show that these guys know how each other race and all that, or at least I'd like to think that they pick it up a little bit, you know what I mean? But these guys race clean and they're pretty disciplined about it, and they know how to work with certain people. And that's another part of strategy that I just thought of to add to the strategy hat, is knowing how the guy in front of you likes to race and defend positions and or attack for a position from behind you. So, dang, that's so neat. I just thought of that just now.
Hey, nothing wrong with that. I tell you what, strategy-wise, definitely plays a huge factor when it comes to racing and anything like that. You see Kevin Brown, who made a pit stop trying to get back up through the field. A lot of these guys are here getting in on the closing laps. And when will Robert Gillenwater try to see, or Timothy right there, try to see if they can get around those guys? I think that's where the battle is. See Tim looking on the inside. He's kind of peeking a little bit. Maybe saying, Robert, hey, I'm fast back here. When do we try to see about getting around Daniel? Because I don't know if we can run him down with 15 to go here at Homestead. We got the Ford Entertainment Group Xfinity Series here with a Sim500. Folks, definitely hit the likes and shares. Hope you're enjoying it so far. Definitely hit that. Go check out the Sim500 over on Facebook and sim500.com, as well as OSR Network, online simracingnetwork.com, on Facebook and on YouTube here tonight. But a good one so far. I mean, we only had, about 1 or 2 cautions?
Yeah, we have, and now we got an exciting battle going on for that second, third, fourth place spot. Well, we'll say battle for second. These guys are close. So this is going to be an exciting group to watch coming in these last laps right here, and seeing how they race each other differently, and how we'll see. We'll see how these guys are going to go, but pretty excited for this little battle we got going on right here for that second place position, because like I just said before, everybody wants that next spot, and Johnson's made a good job of catching up to these two, so might be a little battle for silver this evening. But these guys are going at it hard, and they have put themselves on an island away from the next couple guys. So, I mean, we'll see how this turns out for these three individuals here.
Yeah, it is. And right now, very good run amongst all of them. These guys are putting on a good show. But, I mean, Josh Parker, they pretty much are going to need a caution to be able to run him down. As you can just see, Josh right now is kind of just moving on out amongst all these guys. So it's a three-way battle for second, third, and fourth. I mean, who's going to make the move first there? What do you think, Alice? Who you think in that bunch there is going to try to make that move, or if any one of them can make the move?
I think Gillenwater. I think he will. And then Johnson will try and just hook up on his bumper and go right with him. That's kind of what I'm thinking would happen. But who knows? Maybe Johnson's just like, I'm tired of racing behind these guys. Now they got I was like, this guy's coming out of nowhere. But he is a not competing vehicle.
That's Kevin
right
Brown, and he's lapped down, obviously, on newer tires right now.
Yeah, I was like, what just happened? I was like, he came out of nowhere. RKO out of nowhere. But as Johnson's fallen off just a tad, a couple car lengths back, but that's kind of what I think would happen. Gillenwater would make a move, and Johnson would try and hop right onto his bumper and just sail right past with him. But who knows what is in store with this group of three right here, because now Johnson, like I said, is falling a few car lengths back. So, but maybe they'll just ride it out. Who knows? I'd like to think that someone would try and make a move for position, especially if it's a up top position. You know what I mean? So, I mean, we got coming up to 8 laps to go to make something happen. And these guys are leaving Johnson behind a little bit now. Stretching it out just a tad more.
So far, so good, as you've got right there Daniel Falkenham hanging on to that second place spot. You got Robert Gillenwater there all over the back deck lid. Is he going to be able to move around him? Because right now it's all Josh Parker out front. We got 8 to go in this one. So time's running out here so far. As say again, appreciate everyone tuning in. Good run tonight. Good moves here so far. Maybe Robert's backing up, cooling those tires off. Maybe we're going to get a run. Don't count out old Timothy right back there either. So, and as soon as Robert makes that move on Daniel, that's why you don't count out Tim, because he's going to be right there, and he's close enough to maybe shoot up underneath him or something and make the pass too.
Yeah, I mean, I'm at a loss. I don't know. I could babble on about what I think is going to happen all day, but
hey, I mean, that's what we do. I mean, we can only speculate about what's going to happen up here. These guys are in control. I'm kind of just feeling, I'm seeing it right now. Now, maybe Daniel Falkenham has turned the wick up a little bit because he's trying to pull away, and maybe he understands the situation. There's laps run down that, Robert was right there. I mean, pretty much I always say about 10 to go, it's run what you brung. Business is about to pick up on the track. You can see these guys. So I'm thinking Daniel right now has maybe turned it up a little bit a notch and said, okay, Robert, you've run on my back bumper pretty much all race long. I got to go, and I don't want to open it up because he is gaining on Josh Parker. The problem is, I don't know if he's got enough time to run down Josh. I think he might have probably should have started a little bit earlier. Was going to run down Josh, but he is running about a 10th and a half quicker than Parker. The problem is he's just going to run out of time.
yeah, maybe if he did turn it up a little bit earlier, he could have been in contention with the lead, but obviously who knows what's going to happen. There's 4 laps to go. I mean, a little less than 4 laps, but anyways, I kind of think that's what he did. I think he's just like, all right, let's see what I got and see if Hillenwater can stay with me. You know, we'll see. Like, let's test him a little bit. See if I put the iron lead foot down. See if these guys behind me got it too, or scramble them up a little bit back there. So,
that's the thing. That's what Robert, he's been on his back bumper all race long. And, you know, the strategy of a driver, a lot of times, I mean, you've seen it in real life. You know, they might sit there and they might ride a little bit and have a guy behind them. The next thing you know, they just take off because that's what they were doing. They were just riding. And you can see, you can look at the lap times. You know, Daniel, obviously, yes, being a solid almost 10th faster. You see, it looks like who that was up there. A lap car just trying to get out of the way. He got up in the wall a little bit there. That was a good job, just getting out of the way. But yeah, you can see Daniel right now. That time around, Josh Parker was a tad faster, but Daniel's been about a 10th faster the whole entire time. But I've said this too, and easy to watch and learn. Josh is out there by a second and a half, 2 seconds. As a driver, you know you could give up time. Do the math. Knocking a 10th a lap off, and with only a couple laps to go, Daniel's not going to catch him. He needs a whole second, at least a lap, to be able to get up there near him. With a white flag now, he's going to need a whole second and a half, but it's been all Josh Parker out front, and that's the thing there, Alex, is outstanding job by him so far.
Yeah, Josh has done a great job. I mean, he came in early for that early pit stop. Pretty close to lap 30, if I recall correctly, as he comes across out of turn 4, secures that win here at Homestead. So, I mean, he did a fantastic job of making his way back up there, and when he got there, he got her done.
Yes, he did.
Nice racing by him, and I mean, the rest of the field did pretty good too, if you ask me. Looking at these guys, I like how competitive this series gets, and especially with Falkingham right there coming in. And maybe if he turned it on, he could have had a chance, but I think that off lap was when he was dealing with that lap car real quick. So, but that's the name of the game, and Josh Parker came home with the win this evening.
Burn them down. Josh Parker, the man right there, winning it all here tonight at Homestead for the Ford Entertainment Group Sim500. Good run. Daniel Falkenham's going to come up here in second, capping it off, and Robert Gillenwater. Good run by him. He's going to hang on there to third. See if I can't get a few of these guys up here. Move them, so we'll just have to wait till they jump up here and then we'll get a word with them. But an outstanding race, to say the least here.
Yeah, I mean, watching this league, these guys are very competitive, and I definitely like seeing how. I like how clean these races are in this league. These guys do a great job of that. So that's pretty awesome for me to see in my infant days involved in iRacing. That's set the bar pretty high right there, if you ask me. These guys did a great job of it.
Good. So, Joe, if you're listening out there, see if you can't top 3 jump up. Love to get a word in with them. Wait here just a few to get guys up here to get a talk in with them. Outstanding race, folks. Hope you enjoyed it there. Caution, well, wasn't a caution free, but it definitely, we only had a few of them, maybe 1 or 2 there, as always. So, hats off, though, Robert Gillenwater, Daniel Falkenham, and Josh Parker for winning it here tonight. So, there's a few more moments here, folks.
Hey. Hey, Robert.
Yeah,
All right, well,
Hey,
we got
Alex
Robert
up in the
here. There
booth.
we
You
go.
got me?
man.
How you feeling, man, after that third place finish at Homestead this evening?
Yeah, I've always liked this track for some reason. Just honestly felt good to kind of stay behind Daniel and learn a little bit from him. But good run overall. Felt like we might could have got him towards the end, but he was saving a little bit in the middle of the corner and kind of pulled off, I guess, those last 5-6 laps. But good run overall.
Absolutely. And like you said, you were locked onto that bumper. I mean, a majority of this race. And so, Joe and I were talking about it. You were right there with him the whole time. What do you think coming in with those last, 15, 20 laps or so with Johnson coming in right behind you? Maybe throwing you guys through a little loop, see if he could get his nose in there for a battle for a podium finish.
Yeah, I noticed in that first run he kind of came into the picture, and then he fell back a little bit. So on the second run, I thought, well, I may be okay, but apparently he saved a little bit more, and I saw him coming, and by then, I was debating. Honestly, I was trying to stay on Daniel enough. As ridiculous as this sounds, you try to stay on guys to force him to make a mistake, but the Falking, he doesn't make mistakes. So but yeah, it was I was afraid because I was getting loose coming off a little bit, kind of overdriving it a little. So yeah, happy to get third for sure, but yeah, I thought I was going to be a sitting duck for Tim.
Yeah, and like you said, happy with a third place finish. Very strong performance this evening, man. Anybody you want to give a shout out to or thank for this race here this evening, this nice third place finish here at Homestead?
Yeah, I want to give a shout out to Juvenile Diabetes Research Foundation. They've done a lot for the diabetic community and a lot for my family. And special shout out to John Mushton and Raging Cajun Paints. Man, he gets these things looking good for me, and I appreciate him. And my Sim500 teammates, all the guys we run with, and just Georgia Tina, guys, I wish everybody could see how much he works his butt off behind the scenes on all this. And just, Ford Entertainment Group, of course, for sponsoring us. We appreciate them so much, and just lucky to have them on board. And, of course, you guys up there in the booth, we always like to have you guys riding along with us.
Awesome. And super, like we said, super strong race this evening. So congratulations on your third place finish, man, coming in. Super strong race, so nice having you up here with us. Congratulations again.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Well, I'll tell you what, there you go. Second place man, old Bob, Robert there bringing it up. So we'll bring up the second place man, Daniel. Let's get a word with him.
Hey, Daniel, it's Alex up in the booth. You got me?
Yes, sir.
Dude, super strong race here this evening. Let me get a rundown. What kind of your strategy was throughout the entirety of this race,
Yeah, pretty much try to save tires as much as we could because tires are going to be super important tonight because for whatever reason, Homestead has not been one of my really good tracks with this tire model. It's really become one of my worst, actually. So I was very surprised we got the pole and very surprised how well we ran tonight. So I'm very proud of that. But, yeah, pretty much it was just save our tires throughout that first half of the race. And then, of course, people wrecking for 25th, bringing out cautions and whatnot. So that kind of threw a wrench into things, and that allowed for different strategies, like with Kevin Brown and all them guys taking tires. And I was kind of worried if the race went green from there, my race was screwed because I wasn't going to make it on one stop from there. So thankfully that yellow came out pretty much 2 laps before I was going to pit. So that was perfect timing. And then once I noticed how many laps we had left of the race, we were going to be tight on fuel. We weren't going to make it unless we saved. I was clutching for probably like 25, 30 laps like after the restart. So, and we were able to save enough fuel and bring it home. But I was surprised Josh was able to make it to the end too. I thought for sure he'd run out of fuel, but he did really good at saving fuel too. And I did probably save like a lap extra. So, so yeah, very, very happy with the race tonight, especially coming back after having to miss last week due to getting suspended. But so far, really good start to the season for me, and hopefully we can carry this momentum for the rest of the season.
Absolutely, and like you said, super strong race here. You had Robert or Bob, however you want to call him, Gillen Water right there on your bumper for a large majority of that second half, if not maybe more of it. What were you thinking with him sitting right there throughout a vast majority of this race?
I knew he was probably just sitting behind me, probably saving fuel too, realizing we had to save fuel to make it to the end. I think he was just going to ride behind me, take care of his tires, take care of the fuel and whatnot. And I think we were able to pull away from him near the end of the race when we decided to go full blast, try to see if we could make any time on Josh. I only ate into half of his lead because he got it out to like 3 seconds. I only got into half of it. So, thankfully, I know Bob was really strong tonight. We had a lot of really good drivers up front. I mean, Comstock was up there. Timothy Johnson was there at the end. I mean, we had a pretty stout field tonight, I'd say. So, myself. So, that was definitely hard to try to keep him behind him. Like, whether to say, like, how I enter the corner trying to save fuel with him without him getting a run on me off the corner where he takes the bottom away from me because you really don't want to be hung on the outside here. So, thankfully, we were able to withstand the pressure and we were able to hold him off there because he ran a really strong race. So he definitely had me on my toes there.
And he did run a strong race. And you did run a very strong race as well. Anybody you want to give a shout out to, a thank for this nice, very nice second place finish here this evening?
Yeah, I just got to thank First Rate Bay Lobs 207 for all they do, for all their support. Also got to thank you guys for putting on the broadcast. I'm going to go back and watch it. It looked like a really exciting race. Got to thank everyone at Team Name for racing, all their support. David Comstock, Chad Coleman, Josh Parker, Richard Beasley, Doy Woods, all those guys who raced with us tonight. And special shout out to Josh winning the race. Me and him are teammates in the old team challenge in the Cup Series, and we're in the hole early since I had to miss last week. So hopefully we can make a resurgence in the points, and I think we'll be really strong over on the Cup side. Shout out to all the Sim500 admins for ending my suspension a week early so I could race this weekend. So really appreciate them. So I got to thank everyone who came out and raced tonight and who races all the series throughout the week and whatnot. Really fun to really race these guys. Gotten to know these guys the last few years, and they're really all great people. So shout out to all of them. And thanks to everyone who watched the race tonight. It was definitely a fun one.
And fun one it was, and a nice dominant second place finish this evening. Congratulations again, man. Nice to have you up here with us after your super strong, very dominant race here this evening.
Alex.
There you go. Daniel Falkenham again putting it up there in second place. A good run. But this guy, Josh Parker, man, doing what he needed to do. Josh, you in the booth, got a copy?
I got you guys.
Man, Josh, I tell you what, first off, that pit strategy early on really was like, wow on it. Kind of got you marked back in traffic. Was you a little worried then? I mean, how things were going to work out? Because the thing felt like it was going to have some good long green flag runs.
Honestly, I didn't know what I was doing. I was just doing it to look like I knew what I was doing, I guess. I knew that no one was going to take tires, and the worst case scenario was I come out around 15th like I did, and pretty much just run as hard as I could. I was pretty much just seeing how it would handle with full fuel on old tires, because we all had 2 sets anyway, so there's no way anyone's taking a set of tires. But yeah, it was more just a testing thing. I'm really glad that yellow came out because I noticed early when I was riding behind Dan at the start of the race, I was just kind of taking my time trying to save the right front, but I realized after 15, 20 laps, no matter what you did, clean air was always going to trump it. So when we had that restart, I kind of got aggressive there to get out front and get the clean air. And then I realized halfway through it was going to be short on gas. So then, yeah.
Well, I tell you what, like I say, sometimes better be lucky than good and have a few things go your way, especially in a race like tonight. And you did. You was able to get out front, like you said, out in that clean air, which is very vital in a lot of these tracks, and run away from it and put in victory lane here tonight for the Ford Entertainment Group Xfinity Series at Sim500. Got anybody you want to thank for the awesome win?
Yeah. Homestead is a really good track of mine. I got to thank Joe Gibbs Racing, Interstate Batteries, everything they do for me on the NASCAR Heat side. Waiting to see what happens over there. So Joey, maybe all the admins, Jimmy Coleman, you guys for the broadcast, everyone over at Team Name, Chad, Beasley, Comstock, everyone who, who am I missing? So many of them. Who finished second? Falkenham. Yeah, so Falkenham's my teammate on Sundays for the team challenge. So shout out for him. Good to be racing against him. And yeah, I don't think I'm forgetting anyone.
I'll tell you what, as always, it's good to see you out there, Parker. Like I said, man, a good run and a good finish. And congratulations on that win tonight.
Thanks, guys.
There we go, Josh Parker. And I tell you what, capping it off with an stellar win here, Alex, and what a race at Homestead it was tonight.
Yeah, it's a great race to watch, and I like being able to come on and do this with you. And in this league, seeing some unfamiliar faces definitely that's a decent portion of what we talk about, but they'll come, definitely. So, very, like you said, very strong race here by Josh Parker pulling in the win. And, I mean, I thought it was funny how he was like, I wanted to make it seem like I knew what I was doing.
Well, sometimes, you know, as a driver, you just don't know if a strategy is going to work out because it looks good on paper, but you never know how it's going to work out on the track. And unfortunately, it worked out great. He put in victory lane. Everything fell in, all the pieces fell in place for him. Well, we're going to leave Homestead tonight for the Sim500 here in the Ford Entertainment Group. For myself, Alex, and everyone here, everyone, have a good night.